9 years ago, when we bought our first sailboat, Atticus 1, I figured it would take 2, maybe 3 months to prepare the boat to sail across the Pacific Ocean. I swear I was just as surprised as Desiree when 3 long and sweaty years later, we finally deemed Atticus seaworthy enough to sail away from the United States. But we then spent another 3 years working on the boat as we slowly explored the Western Caribbean. During this time, we had some incredible adventures, but it was far from the long-distance sailing we had once envisioned. Eventually, it no longer made sense for us to continue to pour time, energy, and resources into a boat that would be too small for the family that we were beginning to plan for. So we said goodbye to Atticus and went on the hunt for a more family-friendly blue water home. And after a very thorough search, we found just what we were looking for and began to prepare Atticus 2 for an ocean crossing. 1 year later, we were completing our preparations when we got some very exciting news.
Are you pregnant? You're kidding.
No.
Wow.
We then had a decision to make. Do we do the sensible thing and delay our dream once again, or do we somehow press on and pursue the journey we began so many years ago? In the end, we decided to go for it and set our sights on Malta, a small island nation in the middle of the Mediterranean, over 5,000 nautical miles away. And now, after so many miles sailed, we are about to begin the final stage of our journey to Malta. And we can't help but wonder, are we just being reckless by pursuing this risky dream? Or is this somehow the right choice for our family to be?
Well, the fun is over. We just left our anchorage where we were hanging out with Dan and Kika, but we saw some clouds on the horizon, so we decided to come back to our original anchorage to kind of prepare for a Mistral that's coming through, which will be our first, so we're a little bit nervous about it. All we can do is just take all the lessons we've learned from being at anchor in other storms and try to apply those here.
Man, there's a thunderstorm rolling through here and just a huge amount of rain. It's intense.
Well, I'm glad we're not out sailing right now. It's nice being out at anchor. But at the same time, seeing the lightning just flash through the boat, just super bright, and hearing the thunder pound, and then hearing the rain just hit the deck really violently. Ugh, it's still pretty eerie.
Say goodbye, buddy.
Bye, Des. It was awesome. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah.
You guys sailed all the way across the ocean just to hang out with us.
Yeah.
I feel so honored.
Anything for you guys, man. Au revoir. Well, how was it hanging out with Uma, bud?
It was so nice. They're just such a fun, creative couple, and we're both, it seems like, on this similar path.
They're one of the few channels that started right around the same time as us. We both started with boats that were in really bad shape. Both started at a time where it wasn't clear that we would be able to make a living making YouTube videos. So it's really neat getting to hang out with people that went through that same process and experience. And the fact that here we both are. You know, we were both across the Atlantic, we're in the Mediterranean, in a whole different part of the world.
So how do you feel to be underway again, bud?
I'm really excited to get to Malta because I'm getting to the point in the pregnancy where I'm getting pretty big. I've noticed that I'm a lot less mobile than I usually am, so I can't jump around and, you know, fix the sails as fluidly as I used to.
Well, and also you're getting to that point where in the 3rd trimester, I think there's more medical complications that could happen. Mm-hmm. You could potentially go into premature labor, like at any time now. Now I'm constantly worried that you're gonna have an issue and then we're gonna have to go as quickly as we can to the nearest port to get you to a hospital or something, you know? So that's why I wanna get to Malta, so that I can stop feeling that way.
You better knock on some wood, buddy.
I know.
All right, well, we are under sail, heading straight towards Malta. We lucked out and got an awesome weather window so that we can sail directly from Mallorca all the way to Malta. What's nice about this route though is that if anything changes weather-wise or if we have any emergencies, there's a bunch of countries that we can make a stopover in on the way. Now my job is to get there in one piece and just enjoy our last sail for a while.
How you doing, pretty lady?
Good. Ready to go down for my sleep.
Yeah, you had a long watch.
Yeah, a whole hour and a half. Yeah, Jordan was nice enough to take my day watch for the most part because I took a Bonnie for seasickness and it always makes me so tired.
Man, today has been such a nice day.
I know. We haven't had to do many sail changes. The weather's great. I was able to cook down below. Little fur baby's in a good mood. Oh, couldn't have asked for a better last sail before baby.
Yeah, that's crazy. This is our last sail without a child.
Yeah.
Weird.
Should really do everything you want to do now.
All those things that I've wanted to do.
Well, shoot, I was just talking about how pleasant today's been, and I noticed that as the wind was picking up, we were getting a little more spray, and there's just salt water all over the place. Like you can see, there's a bunch on a lot of our electronics over here. It was a bummer because it was so calm all day that opening these up was not a problem. Yeah, it doesn't sound like a big deal, but you know, if you get salt water on these cushions or anything that's fabric, the salt gets in there and it's just gonna stay damp until we're able to rinse it or wash it, which really sucks when we're underway for multiple days. So we really try hard not to get things salty down here. All right, well, it is a very dark night out. There is a ton of bioluminescence in the water. Normally, I'm used to bioluminescence being lots of tiny little things that are lighting up, but here it's like big, giant globs that are lighting up, almost like they're really big jellyfish that as we kind of run over the big jellyfish, they light up. It's really cool. Well, things are decidedly less pleasant today. We're going dead downwind, so I just got the pole out and we're wing on wing. And the wind's only blowing about 14 knots. But I do think there's a little bit of wind against current here. And so the chop is kind of building up. And so because of that, we're rolling a lot for how light the wind is. Also, we are starting to get into the traffic lanes that go around Tunisia. And there are a ton of boats in this area. Sailing offshore when it's nice out is really nice when there's not a lot of traffic because it's a very relaxing experience. When there's a lot of traffic, you kind of have to constantly be watching, constantly be very vigilant and focused. It's harder to get wrapped up in an audiobook or watch a show on a tablet or something like that.
All right, well, I think we're on day 3 of our passage to Malta. This morning it has been so nice. The sea state is really calm. The wind is blowing gently but strong enough for us to maintain 5 or 6 knots of boat speed. We're passing Sicily right now on our port side. It's kind of fun to see a little bit of land on the horizon. It's also pretty nice because there isn't a lot of traffic around here, which is a little bit surprising. So relaxing.
So far everything is going according to plan as per the weather heading towards Malta. We've got the wind right behind us now, and the latest forecast is saying that we should have that all the way up until about midnight tonight, and then it's just gonna totally switch and we're gonna get winds coming right in front of us. And the goal is gonna be to just hug the coast of Sicily as close as we can, make as much easting as we can, and then at just the right moment we're gonna hang a right and sail straight for Malta. Looks like we should have wind pretty much on the beam once we start sailing to Malta. So everything is looking good, but the next 12 to 18 hours will kind of prove if this is all gonna work out the way we want it to. You know, it's kind of cool because in a way we're avoiding what could be a really miserable passage. If we had to go 14 hours dead into the wind and 16 knots to get to Malta, that would be awful. If we had to beat into that for like, what, 24 hours or something, that would really suck. So the way that we're kind of playing the landmass here, playing the wind, there's a chance that this actually might turn out really well, even though the winds kind of became fairly adverse for getting to our destination. That night, the wind shifted as forecasted, but it was much stronger than we were anticipating, and things got really crazy really quick.
God, I'm soaked. I'm so like frazzled, you know what I mean? But yeah, now we got the double reefed main and the staysail out, which is like our bulletproof sail combo.
The waves we were facing weren't huge, but they were very steep. And as we motored straight into them, the bow would be thrust up really high and then come crashing down, a motion sailors call seesawing. The motion was so intense that it was almost unbearable, so I decided to bring the boat in real close to the coast of Sicily, which did offer a degree of protection and really helped to make the motion more manageable.
The last 8 hours were pretty intense. I feel bad for Jordan because I think he's super exhausted. So for now, since we're near the coast and things are a little bit squirrely, instead of doing a horizon scan every 12 or 15 minutes, I switched back to a 10-minute horizon scan schedule. So every 10 minutes my alarm goes off, I stand up, check the horizon visually, go back to the helm, check our radar, wind instruments, course and speed and wind direction, just make sure everything looks good, and then check our navionics apps on my phone just to make sure there's not anything we're missing on the Garmin charts. Set my alarm clock for another 10 minutes, and I'll just do that over and over and over again until the sun comes up. All right, that's my timer. I better do a horizon scan. Whew, all right, it is looking nasty outside. What's funny though is that when you're on deck, it seems a lot crazier than it actually feels down below. Holding tight, 4 more hours. Let's do this.
We've got like 25 knots of wind right now. Atticus too is just charging along up there. And we're just down here like, good girl, keep doing it. Keep doing a good job. This is one reason why I love a cutter rig though, because the fact that we can, oh yeah, this guy's getting close. I've got the AIS information going to my phone, so another cool thing about being down here, I can see all that. Hello, good morning. We are a 12-meter sailboat, approximately 5 nautical miles on your starboard bow, and we are crossing this traffic lane here and wanted to let you know that where we were, give you our position, and make sure you saw us.
Okay, I'll catch you on my radar and we'll keep calling you.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. English is the second language for most of the people working on these boats.
Yeah.
and I try to do simple English, but then I say something stupid, so I'm like, so, however, it's something that could possibly happen. You know what I mean? It's like I'm making it so complicated. I'm like, shut up, state the facts.
Alright, well, good thing we were keeping an eye out on the horizon because there's this boat that we just spotted out of the fog.
I don't know what this guy's doing.
Did they say anything on the radio?
They said that they're doing 6 knots, so they should pass us. And I said, okay, we'll maintain course and speed. And he said, if you don't feel comfortable, then you can pass astern of us. Dude, we need to do 186. I'm pretty sure that that Italian naval ship did not even see us at all.
Well, that was exhausting. But I see land, and hopefully not less than 2 or 3 hours, we're going to be tied up at a marina with a very steady boat, and I'm going to make some gosh darn hot chocolate.
All right, we are finally approaching Valletta, which is the capital of Malta, and where we're gonna be for the next couple months, where we're gonna have a baby. That's crazy. Yeah, so the last thing to do here is to get us into the harbor safely. Visibility is not very good right now. It's a big harbor, so there could be big ships coming in and out. There's this giant breakwater that we gotta not hit. Yeah, a couple important details that we gotta sort out here. Okay, we made it to the marina after a long and stressful 24 hours. What a difference. The first 3 days of that trip were great. Day 4 was rough in every single way. Cold, wet, big waves, strong winds. I just talked to the dock attendant. He said that this is the first time it's rained here since May, and it's mid-September. So we really picked the right day to arrive, but I'm sure it's gonna be beautiful tomorrow when all this clears up.
Life on the move, living on a sailboat, can at times be tough on us, and we've willingly chosen this life. But what about our baby? She never made this choice. She didn't decide that freedom and adventure are worth the increased risk and instability. But then I think of the benefits of this lifestyle. A life that is more in tune with nature, that emphasizes the relationship between risk and reward, that holds personal responsibility at its core. I know we're not the first people to raise children on a boat, but that fact does little to convince me it's a good idea. Only time will tell if we're making the right choice, but one thing I've learned is that for all the uncertainty that lays before us, we know now that our floating home is able to take on any journey, and hopefully, so are we.
Hey guys, thanks so much for checking out this week's episode. I wanted to take a couple minutes to thank some of our newest patrons. So to our newest First Mate patron, a huge thank you to Bob Raymond. And to our most recent Bosun level patron, thank you so much, Craig Stearns. And to our newest Yachtmaster level patrons, thank you so much, Charlie and Sue Kanehailua. And finally, to our newest Deckhand level patrons, thank you so much, Chip Sharp, Bruce Ben Settler, Tony and Lydia Ibayer, Daniel Oliver, Jean and Richard McCabe, Mike Duxick, Robert Todd Brooks, Zach Fortenberry, Kirk Wasson, Felix Philistoics, Kurt Callender, David Caraway, Nuno Ferreira, Anastasia Bezjanova, and Chris and Steph. So to our newest patrons, thank you so much for your love, encouragement, and support. I hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week.